You know how English has all these, like, quirky phrases? The ones that use names, but they don't actually point to anyone real?
Oh, yeah. It's kind of fascinating, isn't it? Like little linguistic shortcuts.
Exactly. And they often end up saying quite a bit about maybe cultural ideas or stereotypes, things we don't always think about.
Right. They just sort of embed themselves in the language.
So today, we thought we'd do a bit of a deep dive into five of them, try and figure out, what they actually mean and maybe where they came from.
Sounds good. Which ones are we tackling?
We've got Lazy Susan, Plain Jane, Peeping Tom, Nosy Nellie, and Negative Nancy.
Okay. Quite the lineup.
Let's kick things off with the one you probably see at dinner tables, the Lazy Susan.
Right. The rotating tray. Makes passing the soy sauce much easier.
Huh, exactly. So, what's the story there? Is there a real Susan? Was she lazy?
Well, that's the interesting part. The origin is, well, it's pretty murky, actually. It seems to have shown up sometime in the early 1900s.
Huh. So no definitive inventor named Susan.
Doesn't seem like it. One strong possibility is that Lazy Susan was just, a catchy marketing term. Something to sell this idea of domestic convenience.
Ah, okay. Like giving it a friendly name makes it seem more helpful, less mechanical.
Precisely. It sort of personifies the object, makes it sound effortless. Just put it on the Lazy Susan. It rolls off the tongue easier than the rotating serving device.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's Lazy Susan convenience in a name. What about Plain Jane?
Okay, plain Jane. That phrase usually describes a woman who's seen as having a very simple, maybe ordinary, unremarkable appearance.
Right, not flashy.
Exactly. And it seems to have come into use in American English, probably around the middle of the 20th century.
And it's often used in contrast, isn't it? Like, she's no plain Jane.
Mm-hmm. That's a very common construction.
Yeah.
She's no plain Jane. She's actually really witty or something like that. Kind of sets up this expectation and then flips it.
It does make you think about, well, how society defines plain versus interesting or attractive, doesn't it?
Absolutely. These terms can subtly reinforce certain standards, even if we don't mean them to.
Okay, shifting gears a bit to something darker. Peeping Tom.
Yeah, that one has a much more negative connotation. It refers to someone who, secretly watches others inappropriately, a voyeur.
And the origin, is there a story there?
There is, and it's quite specific. It comes directly from the legend of Lady Godiva.
Oh, right. The story where she rode naked through Coventry.
That's the one.
Yeah.
The legend says everyone was supposed to stay inside and not look, but a tailor named Tom supposedly couldn't resist and took a peek through his window.
Wow. So that one legendary peak gave us the term.
Apparently so.
Mm-hmm.
He became the Peeping Tom, and the name stuck as a label for that kind of invasive behavior. You hear it in quite serious contexts, like police reports. He was charged with being a Peeping Tom.
It really shows how a single story, a piece of folklore, can leave such a strong mark on the language.
Definitely. Carries a lot of historical weight, that one.
Okay, let's lighten things up a little, though maybe still annoying. Nosy Nellie.
Oh, yes. Nosy Nellie. That's your term for someone who's just, well, overly interested in other people's business. Asks too many questions. Pries a bit too much.
Yeah, we probably all know one. Where did Nellie come into it?
It seems to be 20th century American slang.
Mm-hmm.
And Nellie was just a very common, popular woman's name back then.
So they just picked a common name and attached nosy to it.
Pretty much seems that way. It creates this sort of easy-to-picture character, doesn't it? Oh, don't be such a nosy Nellie. It's a quick way to call out that meddling behavior.
Makes sense. It's almost like a caricature.
Exactly. A linguistic shorthand for a specific, usually irritating social behavior.
All right, and our final one, Negative Nancy.
Ah, Negative Nancy. The eternal pessimist. The one who always sees the cloud, never the silver lining.
Definitely sounds familiar. When did that one pop up?
Likely more recent. Probably American slang again, maybe gaining traction in the 1970s or 1980s.
And the alliteration is strong there. Negative Nancy.
It really is. That NN sound makes it catchy, memorable, maybe even a bit playful. Despite describing someone who's, well, not much fun.
Right. You might say, come on, don't be a negative Nancy about this trip. It softens the criticism slightly, perhaps.
Yeah, the sound of it almost undercuts the negativity it's describing. It's a clever little linguistic package for a personality type.
So there we have it. Lazy Susan, Plain Jane, Peeping Tom, Nosy Nellie, and Negative Nancy. 5 names, 5 stories sort of embedded in our everyday English.
And they really run the gamut, don't they? From like practical object personification to judgments about appearance, cautionary legends, and personality stereotypes.
It really shows how language isn't just words, it's packed with culture and history, sometimes in these really unexpected little phrases.
These seemingly simple terms carry more weight than you might think at first glance.
Definitely gives you something to chew on.
Yeah.
So, a final thought for you, our listener. What other names do you hear used like this in English phrases? Think about Average Joe or Doubting Thomases. What assumptions or stories might they be hiding?
Yeah, that's a great thing to ponder. There are probably more out there than we realize.